Rod man. Rod man, Rod man, Rod man, Rod man. If this shit would stop fucking playing. All right, there we go. All right, Rod, you can hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Loud and clear.
Oh, I'm getting feedback.
You getting feedback?
I'm getting feedback.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback. All right, I'll deal with it. Whatever. It is what it is. Rod man, we are here. We're on the hills of a glorious, glorious, glorious Monday afternoon. You want to know why this is a glorious Monday afternoon?
What's up?
Because Chris Grier is gone, brother. It's a celebration.
Where is God? Listen, Herbie. Listen, Fit Out of Water fam, for those of y'all who keep up with the show, I know today's a little bit out of tradition, right? Because normally this guy's on because we win a game. But this far, like Chris Grier getting the boot far exceeds just winning a game, Herbie. It's listen, y'all. And y'all, listen, when I say I'm changing tradition, man, listen, y'all. I brought the bourbon today.
Nah, you brought the bourbon today?
Listen, man, I ain't drinking beer today. No brown bags, man. The bourbon.
All right, we already got True Blazer in the building, man. Popping
Oh,
bottles, man.
yeah. Listen, man, I wasn't able to celebrate with y'all last week, man, so we gonna celebrate today. Greer is gone. Oh, man. Glorious, man. It's a glorious day.
All right, man. So this is a beautiful day. All jokes aside, this has been long overdue. Chris Grier has finally been fired. Whatever pictures he had of Stephen Ross, bruh, the street said that the pictures cannot override what needs to be done, which is
Oh,
getting you the hell out of here, man.
stepping, dog.
This is the first step on a new step to whatever the future of the Miami Dolphins is going to be, man. So, Rob, how do you feel? Go ahead. The floor is yours, brother.
Listen, Herbie. Look, when I got the news, Herbie, I didn't even believe it at first, right? Like, because nowadays with social media and the internet, sometimes you see breaking news and it's like some troll page posting something. So at first I thought I was being trolled, Herbie. Like I didn't believe it, and then you know there's a certain beacon in the NFL that when its light shines, it's legit. Adam Schefter, Herbie. When I seen Adam Schefter with the check mark on Facebook share that the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, are parting ways with Chris Grier, Herbie, there was so much joy in my heart because it has been so long that I and many other fans of this fan base have been clamoring for this man to go, Herbie. And I gotta tell you, man, it's long overdue. And listen, Herbie, the Dolphins now we are in a position to where we are gonna look ahead at the future, right? Like we don't have a mediocre picker anymore. And there's two gripes I had though, Herbie. There's two things I want to address before we move on, and I'll be quick. After Chris Greer's firing, Herbie, there's two things that happened that unsettled me. The first being, Herbie, I refuse. Herbie, I can't allow Chris Grier to be one of the faces of the black guy lost his job because he's black. No, we're not doing that with Chris Grier, y'all. I refuse. I seen Stephen A. and a couple other people go online talking about why the black man had to get fired first. No, let me tell you something. No, at the end of the day, Chris Grier was fired because he did not do his job, Herbie. Chris Grier, this team today is worse or at minimum as bad as they were when he got the job. The guy was the general manager or a part of general manager operations for almost a decade. No, stop. Ain't no he lost his job first because it didn't matter if he went first. It didn't matter if he went last. It didn't matter, Herbie. It didn't matter if he went yesterday. It didn't matter, Herbie. He had to go because he didn't do his job right. He was a mediocre GM, which is worse than being bad. Because at least when you're bad, he got to go quick. But with mediocrity, Herbie, there's something called hope. And for whatever reason, hope and mediocrity go together, Herbie, in football. It's insanity. All right? That's one. Two, Herbie, you can't tell me you're getting rid of Grier and that you're thinking about keeping Mike McDaniel. Speaking to that point, you can't tell me that you're gonna Herbie. We need to clean house. I'm talking. We need to dust the bookshelves. We need to mop the floors. We got to clean out the fridge. We got to rake the leaves. Herbie, we got to motor. Herbie, we need to. Herbie, we have to clean house. Herbie, what GM is gonna want to come in here and have a head coach already strapped at the hip or an offensive coordinator strapped at the hip? Give the next guy his chance to pick his guy, his chance to pick his quarterback, all that. Don't just. I know you like Mike. If you want to keep Mike a part of the football operation somehow, that's cool. But to just shoehorn him as possibly being the next head coach, Herbie, that was sour news for me. Right? As happy as I am to see Grier go because he had to go, at the end of the day, Herbie, I think it'd be a big mistake if Ross keeps McDaniel. And this is coming from someone who likes McDaniel, but I just think at this point, especially given to where we are this season, Herbie, the players have tuned him out. Mike McDaniel's voice is not being heard anymore in this locker room. And I don't think the GM getting fired changes that, right? Like at the end of the day, you need all new voices, you need new leadership, you need just a brand new culture. And keeping Mike McDaniel is not going to do that. It's not going to allow you.
All right. Well, okay. So I definitely agree 100%. But we don't need to focus on Mike McDaniel right now. You feel me? That's something that's going to happen down the road. It is what it is.
Of course.
What we need to do is celebrate Chris Grier being gone, man. Right?
No.
Hey, think about it. Think about it, man. This is a joyous occasion, man. The holidays are around the corner, man. What is a better Christmas gift than Chris Grier getting his goddamn pink slip? Get to stepping.
Get to step.
Adios. Adios, Dios. Bye-bye. Au revoir. Everything that you want to say in any kind of language that you can think of applies to Chris Grier. Adios. Bye. You're gone. We have, as Dolphin fans, had to suffer through several years of mediocrity at the hands of Chris Grier. Put it like this, I have Chris Grier's record as a GM of the Miami Dolphins from 2016 to 2025.
Yes.
2016, 10-6. 2017, 6-10. 2018, 7-9. 2019, 5-11. 2020, 10-6. Because apparently the Dolphins can only win 10 games. 2021, 9-8. 2022, guess what, Rod? 9-8. 2023, 11-6. The only reason why it was 11-6 is because they added an extra game. Otherwise, it would have been 10-6 again. 2024, 8-9. And then the current 2025 Miami Dolphins, 2-7 for a career record of 77-80 in 10 years, 0-3 in the playoffs. It was time. It was long overdue. The fact that Stephen A. Smith, who clearly has no idea about anything in regards to Dolphins, tried to make this a black or racial issue shows how disconnected he is from the Miami Dolphins. And that ain't Stephen A. Smith's fault. That is the Dolphins, because the Dolphins have been so irrelevant that Stephen A. Smith didn't even have time to process how long this dude, this buster, this bum has been with the Miami Dolphins. If you include how long he's been with the Miami Dolphins without just being a GM, just parenthetically, parasocially, it's been 20 years he's been with this organization, dog.
Mm-hmm.
This man has gotten afforded more than most black men in this space have ever been afforded.
Mm-hmm.
It was time, and thank God he's gone. This is a joyous celebration, Rod.
This is beyond joyous. You want to know why? Because when you fail to hit on the franchise quarterback, when you fail to put together an offensive line, when you do your free agent shopping at Injuries Are Us every year, it's time for you to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And the results show you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move the conversation forward, though, right? It is time to go, and the time has passed. He's out of here, right? So I know that you had a list of replacements. So What are some of the people? Who are some of the names that you might be interested in taking this Miami Dolphins into a new direction heading into 2026? Rock.
So, Herbie, given that when it comes to these types of hiring, you don't you don't know what you're getting from any guy. It doesn't matter what organization they come from, right? Like when you think about what teams have done with the Belichick coaching tree, for example, sometimes just because you come from a winning organization doesn't mean you bring the recipe with you. With that being said, though, Herbie, I mean, where else do you look for a GM, right? You're going to look for a GM where organizations put together winning organization, put together winning teams, put together, you know what I'm saying, draft talent year after year. So these are just some names I'm throwing out here. I haven't done like extensive research or anything, just kind of looking into the future. Obviously, with the offseason coming up, we'll have more time to look into this. But first and foremost, Ray Agnew. He is the assistant general manager for the Detroit Lions, Herbie. And look, I mean, if there's any team that we should be copying their blueprint, Herbie, it's the Detroit Lions. I'm talking about a snake bitten franchise that has spent decades just trying to get it together, and finally, under this, under the ownership, the front office, Dan Campbell, and the coaching staff, the culture, everything, who wouldn't want to at least get a crack at one of those guys? Next guy that I have would be, well, he's actually already the interim right now, and I'm not. He's on the list, but we're gonna see what they have Champ Kelly do. He's the interim right now. I'll be honest. I don't think I would want to hire anybody from Chris Grier's staff. Maybe he might go off somewhere else and be good. Who knows? It would be typical Dolphins, right? You also have the Mike Greenberg, the assistant general manager for the Tampa Bay Bucks, another team that has been winning for the past several years, even without Tom Brady. You have John McKay, the assistant GM for the Los Angeles Rams, another team that's been winning. Terrence Gray, the assistant general manager for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Herbie, I was basically looking at teams that had winning organizations, teams that had talent. Even the Bears, who have recently acquired pretty much a good wealth of talent, and they're putting it together now. Ian Cunningham, the assistant general manager for the Chicago Bears. Herbie, at this point, any name that is not Chris Grier sounds great, right? We are in the honeymoon phase of whoever's to come next. So these are just some of the guys that I was looking into, Herbie. And considering the organizations they're a part of, you never know exactly what part they play and how much they add to the equation. But I'm willing for the Dolphins to take their chances on just about any of these guys.
No, I definitely respect that. I definitely respect it. So before we get out of here and change the conversation and get into the Bills and to the Chiefs, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just go down memory lane with who Chris Grier has drafted. Because at the end of the day, like a GM has a bunch of jobs, a DM has a bunch of different hats, but a GM is ultimately tied to who they draft, right?
Yep.
Because that's the most important thing that you can do as a GM because you have control of that person's contract, you have control of that person's rights. You can't always trade for somebody. You might want to trade for somebody, but you might not get the opportunity to get who you want. But when you draft, that is 100% on you. You picked that player, you put that card in, you did the scouting, you pulled that board together, you gave that draft grade. So these are some of the guys starting with 2016 with who Chris Grier is ultimately responsible for, right? And this goes back to 2016. Larry Tunsil, Xavier Howard, Devon Gajad, Minka Fitzpatrick, Mike Gesicki, Christian Wilkins, Andrew Van Ginkel, Tua, Austin Jackson, Robert Hunt, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, Devon Achan, Chop Robinson. And here goes some of the busts. Charles Harris, 2017 DN, bust. 2019, Michael Dieter, bust.
Yeah.
2020, your boy, Noah. I can't even say it. How
Noah
you say his name?
Ikbenogany.
2021 in round two, man. Your boy Liam Eichenberg. 2021, Hunt Lug. In 2022, Channing Tindall. 2023, Cam Smith. Round two cornerback, bro. All bust, right? So he just was not successful as a GM. Football is hard. I understand. Everybody has bust. Everybody has bad picks, right? But it is on you to build the team around or build the culture, build the infrastructure, whatever, that we don't even pay attention to the bust because there's so many good players on the roster that they make up for that. The
right.
Dolphins never had that in 9, almost 10 seasons with Chris Grier as the official GM, man. So we can go ahead and close the book on that. One more time, man. Round of applause, man. We are done with Chris Grier,
Dwight
man.
Schrute and traded up for Liam. He traded up for Jonah too. Even though Jonah looked good in the game, in the game against the Falcons, but dude.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and move on with the rest of Week 9 reaction, right? So we were supposed to record yesterday. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it, so we're going to go ahead and do this on Monday. So everybody's beat that horse. It's a dead horse in regards to recapping the Bills and Chiefs. So I wanted to do something different, right? I wanted to have a big picture conversation and ultimately what are the ramifications for the Bills beating the Chiefs in the regular season once again, man. So here we go, right here, man. Bills Chief recap, the aftermath, man. So, Rod, what is your biggest takeaway from Bills Chiefs fucking V10 or how many goddamn games these guys have played up until this point, bro?
You know,
Was-
the funny thing about these two teams, Herbie, is that they have effectively, and for those of us who grew up or were old enough to have watched the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady clashes in the AFC, these two have effectively taken that spot, right? The Bills and Chiefs has become basically a yearly tradition at this point, right? Just because of how the NFL scheduling is set up. And I'll say this, Herbie. Look, we've seen the Bills do this, right? We have seen the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season. So the big picture takeaway that I have from this game is Buffalo fans, Buffalo Bills organization, Josh Allen, whoever wants to listen, it's now or never. It's now or never. And I know it's not technically never, right? There's always next year. But isn't that what y'all said last year? And isn't that what y'all said the year before that? And the year before that, there's always next year. I take you guys back to a Hall of Fame quarterback who went to a Super Bowl his second year and said, "Oh, we'll be back," after he lost to the 49ers. That was Dan Marino. And we never got back. We haven't been back since. So, Herbie, I think there's something to be said about taking advantage of what you have at play. And what I mean by that is, Herbie, it's not even just the Chiefs, right? You've already beaten the Chiefs. You basically have the head-to-head edge over them when it comes to seeding at the end of the season. But Herbie, the AFC right now is literally up for grabs. When you consider the fact that you have a Baltimore Ravens team that, while it is not inconceivable that they could climb their way back and make a playoff run, Herbie, I mean, how much does it take out of you to do something like that? And can you really be effective come playoff time, having to fight your way all the way back when you've dug such a hole, right? So the Ravens have a lot going on for them. You have a Chiefs team that they're always gonna garner that championship respect, especially considering they're coming off of 3 Super Bowls, Herbie. But clearly, out of all the iterations of the Chiefs teams, this is the one that could be had for sure. You look at the rest of the AFC, Herbie. All the other blooming teams are teams with young quarterbacks, teams with young cores. When you look at the Broncos, you look at the New England Patriots, you have a team that just recently was looking like a juggernaut, but they came back down to earth a bit, the Indianapolis Colts. Now, let's be honest. If the Colts and the Bills meet in the playoffs, I would assume that more people would give the edge to Buffalo than they would to the Colts, despite how dominant the Colts have been for most of the season, because we know what Josh Allen, we know what James Cook, we know what the Bills defense bring to the table. And look, Herbie, in this game, I will say the Bills impressed me in this game because considering how hot Patrick Mahomes was coming into this game, for the Buffalo Bills to hold him to a 32.5 drop back success rate, which is his worst ever in a regular season, and you could see it in the game, like Buffalo's defense threw the kitchen sink at him. And I think that's where sometimes Buffalo gets a bit of a disadvantage, Herbie. And I say that because now you already threw the kitchen sink at the Chiefs defensively. What are you gonna have left when you guys meet in the playoffs? Right. And that's just something for me that I'm wondering for myself. But ultimately, Herbie, for the Buffalo Bills, it is now or never. The AFC is in a position to where there's really no other team that is truly vying to be that dominant at the top. And this is the moment, Herbie. This is the season where if the Bills meet the Chiefs in the playoffs, they got to take care of business, right? It's now or never. What are you gonna say? We'll just get them next year again? Nah, man, it's now or never, man.
No, it's absolutely now and over, right? And that, and like, at some point, you got to get the monkey off your back, right? Like we seen it with the Patriots, we seen it with Tom Brady, and we seen it with Peyton Manning, right? It's funny, right? It's funny how generations repeat themselves. Like there's always gonna be those generations, and there's always gonna be that quarterback versus that team, or that team versus that quarterback, right? The '90s, you had it with the Cowboys and Steve Young, where he had to get that monkey off his back because he couldn't ultimately beat the Cowboys. Same thing with the Patriots and Peyton Manning. We seen Peyton Manning lose repeatedly until he actually overcame it in 2006,
Right.
right? Like, when is it going to happen for the Bills? I'm tired of this, right? Like, I'm tired of this. This is deja vu all over again. It's just deja vu, right? Like, even when they won, it was an incredible win. I felt empty watching it because I'm like, okay,
We've
what y'all
seen
gonna do? We seen it. Like, I see one team doing everything they can to win the regular season and throwing the entire kitchen sink, using all of their plays, using all of their whatever they could come up with, right? And then I see another team in the past, because it might be different this year, we don't know, but in the past say, okay, that's what they're gonna do. Let's game plan for this because we're playing a different sport. You guys are playing for the regular season. We're playing just to make it to the playoffs. We're not the same. And you understand that it's completely different when you're a team that's only playing to make it to the playoffs. You're
right.
not using all of you're not using all of your plays. You're not throwing everything out there. You're not putting everything on film. You feel me? You have different wrinkles. You make adjustments to the adjustments. So every time that the Bills beat the Chiefs, it actually hurts the Bills because all that does is give Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, freaking Steve Spagnuolo time to understand what they're going to do and build a game plan around that in the playoffs. We've seen that several times. So if y'all don't win this year, when will y'all ever win? Like, listen, y'all lost in 13 seconds, bro. Like,
Well, what I was thinking, Herbie, was there's two likely scenarios that could happen for the Bills this season for this to work. The first is that they get lucky and somebody else knocks the Chiefs off, right?
right.
Because the NFL is one of those sports to where the most unlikely team can beat a great team in the playoffs. We've seen it time and time again. The other scenario too, Herbie, when you consider it for people who aren't like hip to the playoff picture right now, if you look at the playoff picture right now, the Chiefs are not in.
Yeah, they're not
Now,
in.
we know come the end of the season, these boys are going to be in, right? But there is a strong chance that my boys, the Broncos, Bo and them boys, like I called it before the season, it's a strong chance them boys take the division, right? I feel strongly about them continuing to do what they're doing. So there is a chance, Herbie, depending on how things shake out in the AFC, that the Bills get the Chiefs round one and they get a chance, like instead of just waiting into the divisional or instead of just waiting until the AFC championship for that inevitable meeting, they can get that shit out the way or off the rip. So if I'm the Bills, and honestly, if I'm a Bills fan, which God, to even say those words just like almost made my spirit jump out of my
No,
body.
I can see it. I can see it. I can see your
But
skin crawl, fam.
if I'm a fan of that team, I almost kind of want to get the Chiefs in the wild card. Let's get this over with, right? And in that case, you will likely have home field advantage. So I don't know. I don't know,
Okay.
Herbie.
All right. Before we get about here and transition over, I want to say this though. There is an opportunity that the Patriots, I mean not the Patriots, freaking Patriots, I'm on now, freaking AFC East goddamn podcast. I'm sorry. There is an opportunity for the Chiefs to be a eighth seed or seventh seed in the playoffs. But when you are the Chiefs and you've won every single way, you've run on the road, you've won at home,
I think
you've
they have a
won.
better road record than home record, Herbie, in the playoffs.
It doesn't matter,
I think
right? Like it doesn't matter because sometimes, and it might be different because they got their ass beat so thoroughly in the Super Bowl. You have to see that team that you are deep down kind of nervous. You have to see them become mortal, and then you can actually say, "Man, I seen what the Eagles did. We could beat them. Like
right.
they're not the bully, right? Like, but when somebody beats you so many times, all it takes is one bad snap, one bad rush, and then the world, you're like, oh, here we go again.
Snowball effect,
Woe
bro.
is me. It's a snowball effect, right? And that happens every single time, right? Like the Bills were up double digits in the playoffs last year, and they lost.
Yep.
I don't know how, but they lost, right? Like
Yep.
it is going to be interesting to see if these guys can finally get over that hump. And I'm super interested in finding that out, man. Before we transition over to Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy, though, I want to go back and revisit one thing. Lord have mercy, man. Miami Dolphins said, man, it's a fire sale, dog. Lord have mercy,
Who
bro.
just got traded, bro?
Huh?
Who just got traded?
No, nobody got traded. I just find it hilarious, bro. They got rid of Mr. Almost Get a Sack, Jalen Phillips, dog. Like,
King of the almost get him. Almost
the
got
king of the almost get a sack. So I want to go ahead and address this real quick, and then we'll transition over. So these are, according to reports, the people that are on the chopping block or the trading block for the Miami Dolphins. Or basically, these are the only people that people want, bro. Minka Fitzpatrick, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Waddle, and a couple of other names. I want to ask you this. Who the hell do the Miami Dolphins think they are that they said that they not trading Jalen Waddle unless it's a first-round pick? Who the hell do y'all think y'all are, bro? So I got to get your opinion on that before we move on to anything, Rod.
You know what, Herbie? This is what I'll say, man. At this point, Herbie, well, like, what are you holding on? Like, what are you holding on to this for? This shit is a mess, right? And we already Herbie. Jalen Phillips was a first-round pick. But you know what we did? We traded him to the Eagles for a third, which is really, considering how deep in the playoffs they go, pretty much like an early fourth round pick. So with Jalen Waddle, like maybe at best we'll get a second. I was never expecting to get a first for Jalen Waddle, Herbie. You're not going to get a first for a guy who hasn't really been a number one receiver in the league at all, right? And I know people might say, well, Tyreek's been here and all that, and Waddle is a talented receiver, Herbie, but for the Dolphins to be saying, I think the Dolphins just don't really want to trade him, right? For them to say we'll take a first for him, I don't think anybody, Herbie, I don't know who's really gonna offer a first for Jalen Waddle, Herbie. I'll be honest, and he is a talented receiver, but as hurt as he gets, Herbie, I mean, he's a guy that he'll run for 50 yards and he's out the rest of the game. So I don't know, Herbie. You know, the Dolphins want to feel some like they have some kind of leverage here, but we're the ones having the fire sale. We're the ones that need the picks. So, you know,
it's typical Dolphins, bro. Not
Typical.
having lacking total self-awareness, bro. Who's trading a first-round pick for Jalen Waddle, dog?
Only a bad team will do that, and there's no bad teams that need to do that. So, it's not. I don't see that happening, bro.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. All right. So next discussion point, man, and I wanted to talk about Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy, right? Because for two completely different reasons, but they ultimately come to the same point. Week 9 was a career-defining moment, was a back against the wall moment, was a crossroads moment for both players for completely different reasons, right? For Caleb Williams, it was a crossroads moment because it's the Bengals. You had to have a good game. Like, if you are who you were supposed to be, which is a quote-unquote generational quarterback, a number one overall pick, the guy that was supposed to save the Bears franchise, you had to have that game against the Bengals. And I watched every single snap for both games, right? Neither quarterback were great, but they were great when they had to be. And ultimately, that's what matters the most, right? So I'll start with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, you can look at his stats. His stats were really good. That shit was fugazi, right? Like, he had a lot of inflated stats. If the Bengals lost, it wouldn't have been because of Caleb, but they also didn't win because of Caleb, if that makes sense, right? But ultimately, it doesn't matter because when the game was on the line, it was your defense just gave up 2 touchdowns in 50 seconds, which is absurd, right? Like, you have one drive to either get a field goal or try to score. It's 3rd and 10. You don't have any more timeouts. You make the throw that ultimately leads to the game-winning touchdown, right? Like, you did that. You did that. And it doesn't, like, what gets lost is, bro, Peyton Manning had bad games that his team won, that he had no business winning. Tom Brady, Aaron
Super
Rodgers.
Bowl.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
It happens. But do you rise to the occasion? Do you make the plays that matter when you need to make them? And that's the same thing that J.J. McCarthy did. When it was 24-27, And you guys, the Minnesota Vikings needed one throw to ice the game. J.J. McCarthy made the best throw of his career, probably on the money to Addison. It was game over at that point, right? And it was just, I was just happy to see these guys rise to the occasion. I was happy to see these guys have a gut check moment and show grit, show leadership, show want to, show resilience at the highest level in a crazy high leverage game in both situations, man. And it was just cool, bro, because like I say, bro, like I've evolved as a person. I've evolved as a football fan. We have guys that we root against, but ultimately I want these high draft picks to pan out because if they're good, we get more good football. And that's like quarterback wins is not a stat. There's a lot of things that go into a game. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, when the game is on the line and it is in your hands and you have to make a throw or you have to make a play, do you make it? And it was really, really cool to see both of these guys and specifically make those plays because on the Caleb Williams side, you had a ridiculous conversation surrounding Caleb Williams. We do not let these guys develop anymore. Like, has Caleb been great up until this point, 30 games into his career? No, he's been fine. But we've seen that fine is good enough to win a Super Bowl. That's okay.
Yep.
If he's not the best quarterback in this draft, he's not the best quarterback from the 2024 draft, that's okay. Is he good enough that you can win games with? I can confidently say that about Caleb Williams. With J.J. McCarthy, I'm not convinced that you can win games with J.J. McCarthy, but I am convinced that he's worth the investment based off of his game against the Lions.
Right.
Was he ass? And did Kevin McConnell sacrifice Carson Wentz's body to keep him out of games for 5 weeks? Yeah, possibly. But when he was forced to play JJ again, JJ did what he was supposed to do. So I just wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to both of those guys, man. I think it was incredible. It showed, it ultimately was, this is what football is about. This is why football became the most popular sport in America, dog, because there's so many gut check moments that only football could provide. You're in a hostile environment. Both of these guys, they were both road games. You had crazy crowds. You had impossible situations. And they did what they did, and they rose to the occasion, bro. So I just want to go ahead and give them guys a shout out, man. And the 2024 QB class.
Bro, the Jedi apprentices are fucking, they're balling, bro.
I'm so happy that this is a good class.
This is an awesome class, bro.
It's an awesome class, bro.
This is an awesome class, bro. This is awesome.
Absolutely, bro.
This honestly, Herbie, it's looking right now that this might be arguably, and I'm jumping the gun here, but this might be the best class since like the 83 class, bro.
You're definitely jumping the gun because at the end of the day, you still have the 2020 class because the 2020 class has Joe Burrow. The 2020 class has Jordan Love. The 2020 class has Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts. The 2020 class has, I don't know, a top 5 quarterback in freaking Justin Herbert. So I still have to give preference to the 2020 class until further notice. But the potential of the 2024 class, it's definitely there because the 2024 class has 6 guys. 5 guys that I'm confident are starting quarterbacks. Like, confident. J.J. McCarthy, I'm still iffy on because even in that game, he was not that great. He had great moments, but overall, he was up and down. But if he shows that he could be who he was on that last drive, and that's who he is for the rest of his career, then that's 6 quarterbacks. That's 6 good quarterbacks in one class. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. For sure, man. For sure, man. All right. Let's go ahead and get through this real quick before we get to your red zone observation. So last week we did the AFC Contenders versus the Pretenders. So this week we're going to do the NFC Contenders versus the Pretenders. And I, in particular, have one pretender that might shock everybody, man. So, Rod, I have a list. And we're not going to do all the AFC teams. We're just going to – I have the list of the who is in playoff contention.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna go from the 1 seed, and I'm gonna say down to the Falcons. Right, the Falcons are currently the 12th seed. They are four spots out of making the playoffs, man. So we'll start from them and we'll work our way up all the way to number 1. So Falcons, pretenders or contenders?
Herbie, the Falcons at this moment, they gotta be pretenders, bro. But they're pretenders in the best form, Herbie, because they're a team that I don't think anybody was really expecting much from them this season. And if I'm a Falcons fan, you're seeing what you wanted to see. You have your young quarterback. He looks like he can be pretty good. They've been an up and down team. Penix was hurt when they lost to, when they lost to us, they had Cousins out there. But the Falcons have a bright future, I think. Their defense has played better than it has in years. And they have a great young core in terms of their quarterback and the weapons surrounding him. The offensive line is actually pretty good. So the Falcons, while they're pretenders this season, I think as the years go on, starting next year, moving forward, they'll be in play for the division and possibly more. You know.
All right, I got the next one. This is a team that I'm very familiar with. This is a team that I have a long-standing relationship with, man. The 11th spot for the playoffs goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Pretenders, pretenders, pretenders. Let's next. 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 All right. Number 10th spot right now as far as making the playoffs, man. Minnesota Vikings. Pretender or contender, Rod?
Minnesota right now they're pretenders, Herpy. They're figuring out their quarterback situation, right? Like this has turned into not a playoff season like when they had Darnold. This has turned into somewhat of an evaluation year because they want to see what they have in their quarterback. And while they probably can make the playoffs because they have the talent to do so, even if they do, Herbie, I don't expect the Vikings to make too much noise as they are now. So pretenders.
All right, next up. The 5-4, surprisingly, uh, have gone. I think 5 out of the last 6 games they've won. The Carolina Panthers, man, second in the NFC South, man. Contender or pretender, Rod?
I'm gonna I'm gonna say pretender. I'm gonna say pretender. I don't consider the Carolina Panthers contenders. However, I will say, Herbie, for the Carolina Panthers, they are the quietest 5-4 team I've ever heard.
I've
Like I
ever
didn't
heard in
even
my
know they were
life.
above 500. Like until you said something. Like, I didn't even realize.
And it's crazy because it's like if you actually look at all the games that they've played, it doesn't make sense that they're 5-4, right? They beat the dog shit out of the Falcons 30-0. They just came off of beating the Packers in a game where Bryce Young was not good, but Jordan Love was worse, right? Like it is hilarious that this team is 5-4. Shit, they beat my Cowboys, dog. Like it's one of those teams. Just like, wait, what? The Panthers are 5-4, huh?
Yeah, they're like the weirdest 5-4 team because like when you hear they're 5-4, you're like the Panthers are above 500.
That's
Oh,
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All
Charles,
right,
man.
so we're going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit, and then I want to focus on a couple of teams so we could go ahead and give those teams a little bit more time, right? So we're going to speed it up for the next, I want to say, 3 teams.
Okay, bet.
Bears, contender, pretender.
Contenders, man.
Lions.
You know what? Contenders, bro. I still consider them contenders. Yeah,
All right, 49ers.
pretenders, dog. Pretenders.
Rams.
Contenders, bro. The Rams
Dude,
got to be contenders, man. They
dog.
look Matthew Stafford, Puka Nakua, their defense, Herbie. Like the Rams are arguably the scariest team. The Packers were my Super Bowl pick. I'm not the one to renege on that, but the Rams are looking like they could take it all this year, Herbie.
I want everybody to go look it up. I don't know if you could be able to find it, but Matthew Stafford is he's dropping his nuts on people, bro. Like he's playing quarterback at such a high level that he's dropping his nuts. He had a no look deep dig post 20 yards down the field where he threw a dig route. No look. I'm like, all right, now you just showing off. Like this is now you just showing off. Matthew say, hey man, Matthew, he's really him. Like he's playing at another level, right? They say he's your favorite quarterback's favorite quarterback. He really is, bro. For real. All right, now we split through. I want to go ahead and focus on these next 4 teams, right? Starting with the Green Bay Packers that you just referenced. Rod, where are you on the Green Bay Packers right now, coming off of this loss?
You know what? I'm gonna read you my red zone thought on this one because I have plenty.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'll give you my exact thought when I was going through the game. The Packers were my Super Bowl pick to start the season. And while I'm not changing my pick, I'm not one to renege mid-season. They worry me. I consider the Packers a contender still, Herbie. However, they're a little bit too trick or treat for me, dog. I consider them a contender because they literally have all the tools that you could want in a team to compete. They have the quarterback. They have the reliable running game. They have, even though they don't have a signature receiver per se, they have a group of receivers who are talented that the quarterback can do damage with. They have a defense that on any given week can be one of the best defenses in the league. And yet, Herbie, the Packers still have games and moments that make you just feel not good. They give you the icks, per se. They give you the ick, man. Like sometimes the Packer, like watching the Packers lose to the Browns gave me the icks. Watching the Packers lose to the Panthers, even though the Panthers right now are actually a good team, it's just like, dude, you're better than them. Like the Packers haven't done enough. The Packers do. I know what it is, Herbie. I know why they give me the ick. It's because the Packers play to the level of their competition every week. And teams like that are dangerous to root for because you never like they're never going to win the way they're supposed to win. Like the Packers are supposed to dominate some of these teams, right? Like how they dominated the Lions in week 1. But, you know, no matter who they play at that team's level. And, you know, even though that worries me, Herbie, I still consider them a contender and they're still my pick to win the NFC.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But
They're
they
worrisome.
are they're very worrisome, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't make that throw that Jordan Love made, bro, where you are going all over the place, you break it out of the pocket, you're escaping a sack, and then you just throw the ball up for grabs. Thank God for his sake that it wasn't picked, but you can't make that play. And it's funny, a little answer though. We went out on Saturday. To Longhorn, and we have a homie who bartends at that Longhorn who's a Packers fan, and he said it. He was like, "Bro, I don't trust Jordan Love. He has a little too much Brett Favre in him." And we were just like, "Damn, for real?" But that's what
Yeah.
happens when you are somebody who watches your team play after play after play after play, and you realize.
Mhm.
And he was right. I don't think Brett Favre would make that throw. What Jordan Love did, that was absurd. That was
That's
that
beyond
was
gunslinger. That's
that was
beyond gunslinger.
egregious
Yeah,
what
that's
Jordan
beyond.
Love did in that game, making that throw. That is, you can't do that
No.
as a $200 million plus quarterback. You can't do that. So I would be definitely afraid of a team that could only put up 13 points against the Carolina Panthers. Yes, the Carolina Panthers have a good defense. When J.C. Horn plays and their whole team is together, it's a better defense than you think. But we put up points on them. Like, the Dolphins should have beat them,
Yep.
right? Like, so I don't want to go get carried away. That was concerning, bro.
Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Randy, man. Listen, man. Yeah, man. I'm sorry I had to call your Falcons pretenders, even though you have a bright future, though, man.
No,
You
you
have a
definitely
bright.
got. Hey, Randy, man. First off, you already know, man. We got to get air horns for the homie Randy, air class, man. Randy, your team. I know you don't want to hear this as a Falcons fans because you've been patient since you guys have missed the Super Bowl, bro. Since that Super Bowl debacle, but y'all got the right pieces, dog. Now, to Falcon fans, you guys have been hearing that forever, bro. You had the right pieces when you had Kyle Pitts. You had the right pieces when you had Kirk Cousins. You had the right pieces now that you got Drake London. You've been hearing that for a long time. So I bet you like, bro, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I get it, bro. I get it.
Hey, my
But
man
you
wants the coach and GM gone, man. Man. I'm
y'all got a bright future with Michael Penix, bro. Now we'll see, but y'all do have the pieces in place, man. So this next team, and then we could go ahead and matter of fact, I'll blitz through these two teams because I want to focus on this one last team. So Eagles, obviously contender. Buccaneers, how you feel about them?
I think the Buccaneers are a contender, Herbie. I honestly do. I think Baker Mayfield this season has played about as as high a level as he's ever played, and the Bucks are in general a really good team. The problem that they've had is that they've been dealing with a lot of injuries, so that's kind of held them back a little bit. but I don't know the extent of some of these injuries. I don't keep up with the Bucks that much, but I'm kind of assuming that they're going to get some guys back, like Bucky Irving and other guys that have been missing time. But this is a team that in the playoffs, Herbie, they can take down anybody in the NFC because they have a defense that when they show up, they show up. And then Baker is as electric a quarterback as any. So definitely contenders.
All right, I absolutely agree. Now, this one, I want to go ahead and focus on this one team. So currently, they're the third seed. They're number one in NFC West, man. I'm going to go ahead and focus on this team specifically for one reason and one reason only. Sam Darnold, I apologize, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, we had you in the glad we're not playing you QB tier in our QB rankings. That was wrong. I apologize. You are dropping your nuts on
Oh,
me. Anybody who dared to say last year was a fluke when you threw 35 touchdowns and we didn't give you enough credit because regardless of how you feel about you as a player, a football player, throwing 35 touchdowns is a sign, and you did
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And at one point in time, you went 16 for 16 with 4 touchdowns against the Washington Redskins. The ball is not hitting the floor, Rod. This
Oh
dude
no,
is on a tear.
I'm
Like,
like, bro, Sam Darnold, Herbie. Like, when people talk about late bloomers and guys having late career awakenings, people talk about Rich Gannon, people talk about Doug Flutie, people talk about some of these guys. I don't think given the way he's been playing last year, this year, maybe into the future, Sam Darnold might be the poster child for the late bloomer. Herbie, he's been incredible. He
he's
has
been
been,
incredible.
he has been object like last season we were saying it was Kevin O'Connell shit. I talked my shit. Nah, bro, you got it. You
You
him.
got it. You got it. You
You
got it.
got it, dog.
You
Like Sam
got it.
Darnold's that dude, bro. He's
Like,
that fucking
you
dude.
got it. Like,
You got it,
you
bro.
got to understand. I got the biggest egg on my face. The egg is scrambled. It's sunny side up. You feel me, dog? Like, however many ways you can make eggs, bro. Like, it's boiled.
Got
Like,
the omelet.
I got
Nigga,
the
you got a
omelet.
post egg on your face,
I
boy.
got I got a Benedict Arnold on my face, bro. Like, I got every egg you can imagine on my face right now because not only I'm not gonna say did, but not only was I not I was not confident in his ability to do what he's doing. I was outright pessimistic. I was outright, you could call me a hater. I gotta own that. Now, I have to couple that with the fact that I said on our platform, which makes us look crazy, that the Seahawks were wrong for letting Geno Smith go and replacing them with Geno Smith for the same amount of money. I look crazy. Geno has
Hide
ruined
your
me.
face. Hide your face, my boy. Woo! Crazy take. Crazy take. Woo!
Not only are the Seahawks amazing, they're number one in DVOA. They're technically the best team in football right now, led
Bro, that
by
defense is
Sam
playing at
Darnold.
about as high a level as any, bro.
Mike McDonald, who was the head coach, who came from the Ravens when the
Baltimore
Ravens
Ravens.
had an incredible defense. He brought that over. Like, listen, bro, obvious contender, bro. So I just want to go ahead and highlight them and give them their flowers, bro. Shout out to the Seahawks, man. I was very wrong.
Shout out to Sam Darnold, man. You know what, Herbie? You know what? I love the fact that he's doing this for them and not for the Jets. I love it. It's poetic.
Hey, there's always a silver lining. There's always a silver lining, man. So,
poetic.
Rob, man, let's go ahead and close out the show, man. Let's go ahead and get your red zone observations, man. So, what are your 5 red zone observations for week 9, my brother?
All right, so these are my 5 red zone observations for week 9, y'all. Something needs to be said about the maturation of quarterbacks with age. Old man Flacco was dealing today. Now, look, obviously the Bengals lost on Sunday, but man, like just the fact that Joe Flacco, since he's been on the Bengals, he has had this second win to his career that is just unbelievable. And and you know what? It's not just with the Bengals, even with the Browns under Stefanski, he helped lead them into a playoff run. And I think it's very fascinating to just note that any quarterback with any real level of talent, when they get to a certain age, they can play the position at a level that they really couldn't before. And I think Joe Flacco is kind of a symbol for that right now. Um, the Broncos have been the comeback kids of the NFL this season. And all I'm going to say is I was the one shouting out my boy Bo. I was the one shouting out Broncos country. We riding. You know what I'm saying? And I still think they're going to win the division. Let's go. Uh, this one, Herbie, look, there needs, y'all listen to me, there needs to be an investigation on some of these kickers, dog, because some of these blown field goals and extra points are looking real suspect. And what made me write this was the Falcons game. Like, dude, the Falcons did all that to catch up to the Patriots, dog. And you mean to tell me it's 23-24. You have a chance to tie the game, and you just gonna blow your wad on the extra point? Oh, I was so sick. I was sick for Falcons fans watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? Geno Smith has turned, and this was prior. This was early in that game. I understand Geno had a relatively good game yesterday, but while watching the game, Geno Smith has turned throwing picks into an art form, an awful interception in the flat. The dude threw an interception with a defender that was in the flat right next to who he was throwing to, Herbie. It was literally like one of those Madden picks where a nigga just hit O for no reason. Like it was just like, Geno, what are you doing? Like, why are you even throwing this ball? What's wrong with you? Okay. My final red zone thought, and I have an honorable mention. But this is my final red zone thought.
Wait. Get the honorable mention and then we'll get you the final. What's the honorable mention first?
The honorable mention is 68-yard kick made by the Jags kicker. We saw a new record yesterday. Shout out to him. Trevor Lawrence is such an uninspiring quarterback that you feel like you have to kick the ball 70 yards away to get points.
Oh my God! Before we get to that, to tie it, bro. I know we don't really do. I know I don't do bad beat of the week anymore like that. But I had an egregious bad beat. I had Travis Etienne anytime score. They got to the 1 yard line twice, Rod. Twice, bruh. And they put the backup running back in both times, dog. And they tried to give they tried to give this nigga every opportunity, dog. He couldn't punch it in, bro. And it killed my ticket. I'm like, bro, I'm done, bro. I can't do this, man.
I just need you, child. I just need you.
I'm so done, bro. I'm so done, bro. Like I'm finna bet against myself. I'm finna say, okay, I want to bet on this. What's the opposite, bro? Because whatever I'm doing ain't working, dog. Whatever I'm doing is not working, bro. All right, what's your fifth and final red zone observation, man?
My fifth and final red zone observation of Week 9 NFL. The Giants gave Daniel Jones PTSD. And I say that because the Indianapolis Colts going into the game against the Steelers had 4 total turnovers going into the game. They were historically efficient. And then they came into the Steelers game. TJ Watt got the strip sack and return and recovery on Daniel Jones, and it was just Daniel Jones just had a complete meltdown after that. And I'm still high on the Colts. The Colts have built up a ton of goodwill for me to where one bad game against a team, even though the Steelers defense hasn't been consistently as good, the performance they put on against the Colts, the way their front seven handled that offensive line, which hadn't been handled at all that way all season long, was impressive for them. And if the Steelers can build on that, maybe we're talking different about them later in the season. But man, Danny Dimes did not have his best game yesterday. 3 interceptions. I believe it was 2 fumbles. I don't know if he lost all 3. I know I seen 2 of them. So he had minimum of 5 turnovers just himself. But I'm not here to down Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones has been having a great year. Everybody has a bad game, and the law of averages is a thing. So yeah, you go 8 games with barely any turnovers. You go up against a defense that's historically pretty damn good. That tends to happen. So yeah, red zone thoughts, baby.
All right, man. Shout out to Rob for the red zone thoughts, man. Air horn. Yes, man. All right. Now, everybody knows if you've been following Rob gets his red zone observations, which is where he has 5 thoughts about Redzone while he's watching football on Sundays. I give the bad dope of the week. So if this is your first time watching, bad dope of the week is a player, a coach, or a team that had an awful performance on a Sunday afternoon. And this week's bad dope of the week, man. This week's bad dope of the week has to, and I mean has to. There's no other option that this can go to other than the Cincinnati Bengals defense for the debacle that
Terrible.
they had.
Terrible.
When your offense, i.e. Chase Brown and Jamar Chase, are saying finish the effing game and you have to get one stop respectfully, you have to be bad dope of the week, man. So, Rod, let me go ahead and give you some stats about how bad this Bengals defense was against the Chicago Bears, man. And in the past 2 weeks in general. In the past 2 weeks, they have given up over 500 yards 2 weeks in a row. One to Caleb Williams, one to Justin Fields. In this past game, they gave up 30 first downs, 11 rushing first downs. They allowed 8 for 15 on third down. They went 2 for 2 on fourth down. They allowed 76 total plays. They allowed 576 yards of total offense. They allowed 7.6 yards on offense per play. They gave up 283 rushing yards and allowed 7.6 yards per rush to a backup 7th-round pick at running back. This was a disaster. And against all odds, with the game on the line, third down, with no timeouts, they gave up a 58-yard touchdown to Coastal Loveland because they just forgot how to tackle, man.
Bounced right off them boys, dog. When I seen that play, Herbie, I was in total disbelief. I could not believe, considering what had happened previously, considering the Bengals had came to take the lead. So I thought to myself, like, God, only the Bears know how to blow a game like this. Sorry, Bears fans, I was wrong. Only the Bengals know how to blow a game like this.
In the same game.
Herbie, the Bears are the first team that I have ever watched in 30 plus years of watching football that didn't deserve to win the game and didn't deserve to lose the same fucking game, Herbie. They didn't deserve to win and they didn't deserve to lose. I don't know how to feel about the game, Herbie. I don't. I don't.
Absolutely, man. So this week, man, week 9, bro, the Bengals, you get bad dope of the week, man. One more time, man. Bad dope of the week, man. All right, Rob, man. Any last words before we get about here, brother?
Listen, y'all. Today was a joyous occasion, man. Chris Grier is gone. The Dolphins season is set because we're going to be somewhere in the top 10. We know it. And Herbie, listen, week 9 was an exciting, fun freaking week of football.
This is a great week of football. This is a good week of football.
Fun and great games. Wish we could have did this yesterday because I had some stuff to talk about with the Patriots and Falcons, but we had such a loaded show. It's cool. We got plenty of the rest of the season to talk about these guys. But Herbie, I can't wait for next week, man. Let's do this shit.
Neither can I, man. So you already know how we do that, man. Deuces.